We have one home, this fragile planet we call Mother Earth. And since most of us don't have a plan B when it comes to where future generations might live, we need to take care of our mother now. Like now. Let's cook to tread lightly on our planet, including a trip to Italy where, well, they already do it. Today, on Christina Cooks, the Macroterranean Way.
Underwriting for Christina Cooks is provided by Suzanne's Specialties, offering a full line of alternative vegan and organic sweeteners and toppings. Suzanne's Specialties, sweetness, the way Mother Nature intended. And by Jonathan's Spoons, individually handcrafted from cherry wood, each designed with your hand and purpose in mind. Additional funding provided by...
Hi, I'm Christina Perello, and this is Christina Cooks, where each week we take fresh seasonal ingredients and whip them into amazing dishes. Will they all be plant-based? Yup. Will they all be delicious? Absolutely. 99.9% of scientists agree that the planet is changing. Climate change is real. And here's the bad news. We're the cause. We're also the solution. It depends on how hard we want to work to be the solution. How much pollution we want to continue to pump into the air, how much biomass we care about burning, how much trash we want to accumulate. All of that contributes to the changing of the climate. And you're thinking, what does that have to do with food? Everything. 40% of pollution in the air comes from agriculture, livestock production. 18% comes from fertilizers, 17% comes from burning biomass, and 6% comes from other agricultural practices. That's a lot of production of pollution to make food. We don't compost, we throw it all away. In America, we waste 40% of the food that we buy. In other countries, maybe 3 or 4%, and they're completely ashamed of that fact. We go to big box stores, buy huge amounts of things, and then say, oh no, it turned into a science experiment in my fridge. And then we don't compost it, we just toss it. So today, we're going to cook to make a lighter footprint on the planet. We're going to use simple ingredients to make delicious, incredible dishes. Because you know what? There is no planet B, man. This is it. We have to make the earth work. Not just for us, but for other generations. The Native Americans thought 7 generations ahead. We have to start doing that, or there's not going to be a planet. Your grandchildren will be looking at pictures of what a freshwater lake looked like. I didn't mean to get heavy, so let's cook. All right, we're going to make a lentil soup. Now, you're thinking, here she goes again with lentil soup. Lentil soup is a staple in my household because lentils are inexpensive and nutrient dense, and all of the veggies I'm using in it are local. So there you go. And it's also delicious. They're heart healthy, high in fiber, high in magnesium and potassium. We're taking some extra virgin olive oil, some diced onion, and now we'll turn on the heat. You can use yellow onion, red onion, whatever you like. So we're going to add a pinch of salt now that the onions have started to sizzle, a tiny bit of hot spice, which if you don't want to use it, don't use it. But when you're cooking a bean soup, protein tends to be heavy, and this will help to lift the energy of the soup up and be more balanced. A little bit of diced fresh garlic. If you want the garlic to be more mild, put it in whole and then take it out. It's a more mild flavor, so that's your call. You're going to give the onions a little bit of a stir so that they start to really saute nicely. They smell delicious, as onions, garlic, and olive oil do. Okay, next we'll add in some diced celery. And celery brings a lightness to a soup as well. It never quite gets mushy, so you've always got that nice blend of texture. Some diced carrots for sweetness and to help ground our intestinal tract. A little bit more salt. Just a pinch, we're not seasoning. We're just sweetening the veg, we're not seasoning. As soon as these veggies are shiny with oil, as they are now we can add the next veg. These are fingerling potatoes. I like them because they're very low in the alkaloid solanine because they're small. They're not big, waxy, sugary potatoes. And they give you that satisfaction you want from potatoes without the damage to your joints or the potential damage to your joints. We're just going to dice those. And these go in. They're optional. You can use whatever veggies you have in your house for this soup. These happen to be my favorites. Some crushed tomatoes to give the soup a lovely Italianness and also a sweetness. And the last thing before the water, the actual lentils. Give that a stir so everything's blended up. And now you'll add 4 to 5 times the amount of water as you have lentils. So we have a half cup of lentils, so I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go with 5. If you want your soup to be thinner, add a little more water. If you want it to be thicker, add a little bit less. Now we give it one stir, one little stir, right? Remember, the job of soup is to relax the digestive tract, so don't always be in here stirring, but just to combine your ingredients. Then it gets covered, brought to a boil, and this cooks for about 40 minutes until the lentils are tender, and then we'll come back and season it. So after 40 minutes, the lentils are tender. We're just going to season it with a little bit of salt. Remember earlier I said we weren't actually seasoning yet. So we're going to season it now, and you want the salt to simmer for a little while. So we're going to let that simmer. And in this pan, we'll put some olive oil, some hot spice, because we're going to saute some greens to be spicy on top. This is lacinato kale. Kale is another leafy green. This is considered a sweet leafy green. And we're going to cut it really finely because this is the garnish on the soup, right? So we have a little bit of spice in the soup. We have a little bit of spice in the greens. It's all going to come together and taste amazing. And you're going to saute these just until, there's that sizzle, just until they wilt like this. Because this is the garnish. This is to lighten up the soup and to freshen it. Now, because they're spice and spice, that might be a little too much for you. So let's take a tiny bit of balsamic vinegar, this is optional, stir it into the soup for a little sweet finish, and then we serve. We're going to take a nice few ladles of soup. In my house, lentil soup is a meal. So you're thinking, that is some bowl of soup you got there. That is some bowl of soup I have here, because this and a chunk of bread with these greens is dinner. Pick the greens on top, and you have the greatest starter course or light lunch ever. Now, when it comes to saving the planet, we're off to Modena, to a biodynamic, organic balsamic vinegar producer that is zero waste. I can't wait for you guys to see this. Lorenzo! Ci sono Christina.
Hi, Christina.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming here.
Thank you. This is Lorenzo Guerzoni. This is the Acetaia Guerzoni, where they produce organic, biodynamic balsamic vinegar, true balsamic vinegar. So, Lorenzo, where do we start? Where does this process begin?
We start from the production of the grapes and from compost, and in the last balsamic vinegar place, Acetaia.
So we start with the dirt, the compost.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, andiamo. Let's go. Okay, Lorenzo, what have we here?
This is a special compost. The name is Flatten.
Okay.
It's a mix of different substances.
Okay.
We prepare for 6 months.
Okay.
And after we put a small quantity in the water.
In here?
Yes.
And this is an ancient method of mixing.
Yes.
The compost with water.
Yes, I put some compost here.
Yeah.
And I mix for 1 hour
1 hour?
Yes.
Wow.
In the 30 seconds when this side, and after 30 seconds in the other side.
The other way, okay.
Other way. For 1 hour. This
Okay.
is biodynamics mixing.
This is biodynamic mixing.
Yes.
Wow. And then this mixture goes onto the vineyards.
Yes, exactly.
Wow. Let's walk through the vineyards.
Yes.
I notice at the end of the vineyards there's roses.
Yes.
Are they, of course, beautiful, but why are they there?
The roses is very important because when arrive a problem, the name is oidio. The roses take before the grapes.
So the roses get sick before the grapes, so you know there's a problem coming.
Yes.
Wow.
Exactly.
Can we walk through?
Yes. Why?
Wow, these are so beautiful. Okay, so Lorenzo, now we are in the eye of the storm, so to speak.
Exactly.
This is where it happens. First of all, why are we upstairs?
We are upstairs because we wanted that in the summer is hot and the winter is cool.
Okay.
It's very important this different temperature.
For fermentation.
Yes, for fermentation, exactly.
And all of these barrels are different woods because of the biodynamic cycle.
Yeah, yes, it's different wood for biodynamic, and my family decided to connect two planets.
Okay.
And for example, these barrels is Castagno and Saturn. This is Acero Castagno with Jupiter. This barrel is Rovere and Farnia with
Oak.
Oak, yes. The Sun with Frassino.
Which is mulberry.
Mulberry. Mercury with Gelso.
Okay.
And Venere with Caccia.
Okay.
And the last is Man.
Cherry.
Yes, with cherry, exactly.
And now each year you move some, but there's many, many layers in the barrels, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Every year in the winter, I put some product from, for example, from this in this one, from this in this one.
Can we taste?
Yes.
This
why
is
not?
25 years, yes?
25 years, yes.
My goodness,
It's the
let's
best
taste.
of this place.
Let's taste, let's taste. So even this method is ancient, yes?
Is it
Of tasting?
Yes, is a drop for you.
Okay. Oh, it's amazing. It's so complex.
It's so complex. It's the work of my family for 25 years.
Wow. Okay, so now from here, we go to production and see the finished product.
Exactly.
Wow, let's go. So Lorenzo, the fields were magic. It was amazing to see. So tell me, what happens here?
Here, inside this machine, we're cooking the grape juice. We're cooking with fire, directly with fire, and open, yes.
So this gives me a much more traditional style product, even though you're making big amounts.
Yes.
And
exactly.
so when it's done, how long does this cook?
It's cooking for 3 days, more or less.
3 days?
Yes, really.
3 days?
Yes, because
Wow.
it's a slow, very low,
Low
temperature.
flame, right?
Very slow, and we're cooking for good quality.
And when this is done, what do I have in 3 days?
Mosto cotto.
Mosto
cooked
cotto?
Yes.
Gelato?
Yes, perfect. Yes, exactly.
But it's not balsamic vinegar yet.
No, it's sweet. From the mosto cotto, you can produce balsamic vinegar of Modena, for example, with wine vinegar, or traditional balsamic vinegar if you use pure.
So if balsamic vinegar is traditional, it's just the mosto cotto aged.
Yes.
No vinegar
No
added.
vinegar yet.
Okay, so then after we have mosto cotto, what happens now?
Now we go for visit where we have the aging.
Great,
Okay.
let's go. This is so exciting. So Lorenzo, these are aging barrels, correct?
Yes, exactly.
So what's the difference between these and what we saw?
In the farm, yes. This product is aceto balsamico di Modena IGP.
This
It's
is
a
more
mix.
commercial.
Yes.
So the other is more traditional. It's only
Yes.
mosto cotto. How long do these age?
For 2 months to 3 years, more or less.
Ah, so this is a very young
Yes,
balsamic
it's
at
young.
all times.
Exactly.
And then after this process, what happens next? Where do we go?
When is ready, we put in the bottles. Directly.
Okay, andiamo.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so then we come down here,
Yes,
and
we
the lids
put,
go on.
Yes.
And the lids, just like everything else, there's no plastic
No plastic, exactly. We don't use plastic in.
at all.
No, exactly. In the packaging. And finally, we have the
The
labeling.
labeling. And then into the box and it ships.
Yes.
Wow.
The last work is the boxing.
I love seeing this part. So Lorenzo, now we look at the finish,
Yes.
right? So before we talk about these, how long has your family been producing biodynamic organic?
Yes. With biodynamic and organic agriculture, we start in 84 year.
Wow, 1984.
Yes, exactly.
This is the family business
Yes,
at this
my-
moment.
yes.
There's you.
Yes, I am one of the children, my mother, my brother, and my grandmother.
Wow. This is the commercial balsamic, and
Yes.
this is the true balsamic.
Yes.
But what's interesting to me, what's really interesting to me, is that everything about this is sustainable.
Yes,
It's not
exactly.
only organic and biodynamic, it's sustainable. So
Yes.
there's no plastic.
No plastic.
And what's in these adorable little boxes?
Oh yes, inside there is a small crow for use because when you
Open.
open you can put this.
And this is glass.
Yes,
So
it's glass.
everything is sustainable, and the boxes are made from grape must.
Exactly.
So there's
really.
no waste. It's completely sustainable, organic, and biodynamic. So now you can see that there's a difference between the balsamic vinegar you buy on the supermarket shelf and true, authentic balsamic vinegar, so that you do the best for your kitchen, for your food, for your health, because balsamic vinegar is also healthy for digestion and for the planet. Lorenzo, grazie mille. Thank you for
Grazie.
having
Thank
me.
you.
It was
you for the
wonderful,
visit.
and thank you for having me. It was great.
Thank you very much for your visit. It's very fantastic to meet you here.
Thank you. And there you are. Whenever I go to Modena, I am struck by the magic of nature. It tells me that life is still filled with enchantment, no matter how disillusioned we might feel. So remember that. The other thing to point out is that we're going to talk about focusing on vegetables so we make a lighter footprint on the planet, because there is no planet B. So what we're going to do today is make cauliflower the center of the universe, so to speak. We're going to take a generous amount of extra virgin olive oil. Always use the best you can find. And we're going to light the flame underneath that. Then we're going to take a whole garlic clove and just trim the top off and the bottom that's a little bit dry. Just sort of scrape where the dryness is. And that whole thing into the pan. And you're thinking, what? The whole thing. You'll see why. Then we're going to take yellow onions. You can use red, you can use shallots, your call. I found white onions, and we're going to open them up almost like petals and drop those petals into the oil as it heats. You want to use 2 onions for this because you're using a whole head of cauliflower. And you can see the olive oil starting to steam, and it's steaming. It's not smoking. Don't panic with olive oil. Good olive oil will steam because there's water in the fruit. So the onions go in. You just keep opening them up. You don't have to chop anything except to quarter the onions so you can peel them. That's it. Easy so far, right? You can't get easier than this dish, and when you see it, oh, it's a feast in and of itself. The next thing to go in is we're going to take carrots and cut them in a roll cut, meaning you're going to turn the carrot 90 degrees every time you want to make a chop so you make a nice chunk. Because you got big chunks of onions, a whole clove of garlic, and what you want to do is start to have that flavor build, but not have anything get too soft before it's time. So we're going to put 2 carrots in. You can use sweet potatoes if you prefer in this, or potatoes, but carrots are going to hold their texture, and at the end of this dish you'll see why that's important. The next thing is plum tomatoes. I'm using small ones, just in half, right into the pot. We haven't seasoned, we haven't done anything, but quick chop and throw things into the pan. It's easy, easy, easy. Except for the baking time, this meal takes nothing. So we're going to take all these plum tomatoes, and then we're finally going to give this dish a stir. Let's get them all in there. You don't need water, you don't need white wine, nothing. Not yet. Not till the cauliflower goes in. All our plum tomatoes are in. Now we add a tiny pinch of salt. You can stir or you can do this. Now you're going to take a whole head of cauliflower, the whole head. You're going to come down to the bottom and just trim off what might be dark. Try to get a cauliflower that has the leaves. The leaves wrap around the cauliflower, which is what prevents it from turning green, right? Now we're going to take and use your knife and carefully cut across so that all of the moisture from the dish can cook up inside the cauliflower. And we nestle it on top of the veg like this. Add a tiny little bit more salt. Just a touch more olive oil to keep things nice and moist. And this is going to go into the oven at 400 for 30 minutes. We're going to cover it as it goes into the oven. And after 30 minutes, we'll come back and visit it. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes. So now we take our cauliflower out of the oven, ditch the lid. I'm going to grind a little bit of black pepper, another pinch of salt. We're going to add a tiny bit of water so that the vegetables become almost like a gravy, right? Just a little bit. And then this is going to go back into the oven uncovered for another 30 minutes. And I know what you're thinking, oh my goodness, an hour of my life. But you didn't do anything for the last half hour, and you're not doing anything now either. So give me another half hour, and I'll be back. Okay, it's been an hour. Half covered, half uncovered. So now it's time for the big reveal. So, take a big slotted spoon, and I mean a big one. And you're going to lift the whole head of cauliflower onto the platter. Be careful because the pan is hot and the cauliflower is heavy. But you see how beautifully it's browned? Now we're going to turn on the flame quickly. It's not really cooking anymore, but you're just kind of reducing it down. Let that boil. And we're going to take some chard. You can use any green you like. I'm using chard because it's going to cook really quickly. Just give it a rough chop. You can use kale, spinach, whatever floats your boat. Chard's in season here in Tuscany, so chard it is. That gets a little stir. We're going to wilt that down. Always use your pot holder when you grab the pan because the pan's been in the oven for an hour. Now, take out your garlic, and you're thinking, what are we going to do with this garlic? You are, at some later moment, as you serve your meal, take that garlic, smoosh it out of its skin, and put it on bread to serve with this lovely, lovely meal. And now that it's all sort of wilted, that's going to go over our cauliflower and create this colorful, gorgeous, who would not want to eat this dish? You'd have to be a hardcore anti-veg dude to not want to eat this dish. And just get it all in there, let all the juices flow down around the cauliflower. And you've got the bright tomatoes and the lovely bright green chard and all this loveliness. And there you go, quite the feast. So what are you waiting for? Let's eat some veggies, save our planet, and get back to the cutting board. And I'll see you next time on Christina Cooks, the Macroterranean Way. Buonissimo.
Underwriting for Christina Cooks is provided by Suzanne's Specialties, offering a full line of alternative vegan and organic sweeteners and toppings. Suzanne's Specialties, sweetness, the way Mother Nature intended. And by Jonathan's Spoons, individually handcrafted from cherry wood, each designed with your hand and purpose in mind. Additional funding provided by. You can find today's recipes and learn more by visiting our website at ChristinaCooks.com and by following Christina Cooks on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. Learn how to add delicious plant-based dishes to your daily diet with the companion cookbook Veg Edibles, featuring more than 120 easy-to-make recipes. To order your copy for $29.95 plus handling, call 800-266-5815 or visit ChristinaCooks.com. Add Back to the Cutting Board and get both books for $49.95 plus handling.